Existing since 1965, the Nigerian Publishers Association meets once again. This time around, it is to hold its 2022 annual conference and general meeting. It was held at the Rockview Hotel Royal, Abuja. The hybrid event was a gathering of publishers experts, scholars, practitioners, regulators, stakeholders, friends and partners in the publishing ecosystem. It was time to review past achievements, assess the present, and make reasoned projections for the future. This year, the theme was Redefining Publishing and Reading Culture in a Digital Era. The association is looking at how it can remain relevant using technology and resolving challenges and opportunities in the publishing industry. The keynote speaker, Professor A.K. Usman, spoke extensively on the fact that because of the perceived advantages of digital publishing, some traditional publishers are gradually shifting towards digital publishing, realizing they may not be able to keep their businesses alive by continuing only with traditional publishing. He added that it seems more and more people are coming out in support of digital publishing.
Become developmentally by the exposure, the quality exposure you have enjoyed in life. And most of this quality exposure is through books. You might not have met Albert Einstein that you couldn't have anyway. But if you have read anything that Albert Einstein wrote, you have met him. Well, publishing and digital era. Of course, publishing is something we know. Digital era substantially we also know it. The idea is the production of reading materials.
Meanwhile, the president and chairman and council of the association, Chief Uchenna Cyril Anyoke, spoke on operational values, copyright issues, and what is to come in the future.
In Indonesia, I attended the Indonesia International Book Fair. The former president was with me. We walked through the length and breadth of that book fair. I didn't find a book in English. I didn't find one book published in English language. And there were many international visitors. We asked questions. But that's the thing we will do at Chief Executives much, much later. How do we do that? We are the ones who are going to pioneer it. All we ask is the federal government, relevant agencies, to partner with the MPA to actualize this. One other thing I think we will be doing forward is embracing translation. We may not find immediate writers to do what? To write books in our local languages. We can as well begin to do translations. Get rights and begin to translate wordy books in our languages so that our kids will begin from infancy to do that. And our universities will begin to grow where we can teach courses, medicine, engineering, publishing, in what? In our local languages. When we do this, we'll be redefining publishing and reading in a different platform.
Assembled were best hands as panelists at this conference to discuss the theme.
The donation of books to school, and then when you come around another time, you see the books there. I don't know what you're trying to say. Actually, when you look at the school system, especially the situation we are now, we discover that most students these days, they strictly read to pass. They are not reading maybe to develop themselves in future.
Having said that, I want to address the issue of hard copy, soft copy, electronic copy. We have come to embrace the digital age. In fact, we are not redefining publishing. the digital technology is a redefinition on itself. So what we are doing, what everyone has to do, is to adapt.
Taking it is going to be for adults, for children. We are taking it holistically. Presently, National Library has a roadmap on how to ensure that schools make use of their libraries. I happen to be I was the head of branch in Imo for so many years before coming here. We go to schools, we go to Ministry of Education, we encourage them to include a library hour. We have book clubs. I want to please, sir, books are not just there. They shouldn't just be bought and be wasted in the library. I was taken aback when you said students don't go to the library to read. If you include library periods, students will go there to read.
Interestingly, the Senate passed the Copyright Bill on April 6, 2022. In the same vein, the House of Representatives on Wednesday, 27th July 2022, also considered and passed the bill. While awaiting the final assent to the Copyright Bill by His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, the fight and campaign against piracy is on, no doubt with the usual cooperation of the Nigerian Copyright Commission.
So, I want to thank you so much, and it is also good to protect your works. And in spirit and letter, we share this aspiration with you. And that is why we passed the amendment to the Copyright Act, and it's also been passed by the Senate.
This is what stakeholders and partners had to say in their goodwill messages.
Please come forward for your goodwill message. Very briefly. No matter how brief, we must take a message from him. That's the Director General of Nigerian Copyright Commission. Let's keep clapping until he gets the microphone.
The book means so much to any society. And I'm happy to hear that no matter how digital we go, the physical book will likely be with us for a very long while. But given my goodwill after the last panel discussions and what appeared to be almost an upheaval towards the end, I will pick my words carefully. But from the Nigerian Copyright Commission, we acknowledge that copyright has always been, is, and will always be at the intersection of the different divides in the book ecosystem. And it's important for us to realize that between the publisher and the reader, there could be a bookseller. Between the publisher and the reader, there could be a printer. Between the publisher and the reader, there could be also a librarian. Publishers must have assurances. The Nigerian Copyright Law, the new bill, which we are awaiting the assent, provides clearly for these demarcations, provides safeguards. But there's nowhere in the copyright law that piracy, in whatever form, under whatever guise, in whatever coloration, at whatever level, should ever be excused or should ever be accepted. Because what I believe, sorry madam, the gentleman that sells a book for 900 naira is making profit. And is making profit at the expense of the publisher. And invariably, the author. So by giving me a book for 900 naira, he's not doing me a favor as such. If he is, he's not doing society a favor. I will see pirated materials we should never condone it. Sooner or later, it will eat up the system. Unless you have never authored a book, that's when you will glorify a pirate who brings down prices because he thinks that book was too expensive. Like I always say, if my book is too expensive, please go and write your own. And you'll find a buyer. So having said that, I would just, as a way of the goodwill, just a few things to say that. First, I thank Prof for the wonderful and very stimulating keynote. And I think we should continue this conversation at different levels to look at what needs to be done in a digital environment.
This theme is a very good one and is very, very timely. And it is in the right direction too, given the fact that we are all in digital era and the need to promote healthy reading culture, especially among the youths and school children, cannot be overemphasized. We all know that the declining factor of the reading culture all over the world and especially in Nigeria. We are all aware of that.
On April 25, 2023, we will be hosting the Lagos Book Walk, a public advocacy event to remind everyone in Lagos and indeed Nigeria that reading is too important to be trifled with. As an eminent stakeholder in the books and reading ecosystem, and indeed one whose members such as Onibonoje Books had set up the Onibonoje Book Club and other book clubs as far as 1970s, we believe that the Nigerian Publishers Association should yet be at the forefront of these campaigns. So we are calling on you all to help us, not only to publish the books and to leave it there, to reach out to us. How can we work together to make sure that these books are read? Part of the discussions at the panel side were regarding the fact that some books are in bookshelves and they are yet left unread. So we really would like to say that it really takes a culture, a village to raise a culture. We'd like to invite the NPA and every publisher that can to really come on board as part of the network.
Dr. Olushi Kalu just said the book is a dying patient. But it's a patient that will never die. Sorry. As start now, booksellers are also patients in the hands of the publishers. I want to appeal that you don't let this patient die. Not only that will not die, we want to also survive. We've been talking in recent years, but we are just talking year in, year out, no action. Let us walk the talk, so that it will be better for all of us. We are talking about piracy. Piracy tried because we are breaking the book chain. Let's go back to basics. Let's restore the book chain. Let author rights. Let publisher publish and promote. Let booksellers sell. And I also want publishers to also print locally so that our local printers will also have work to do. So let's work together and restore the book chain.
Indeed, redefining publishing and the reading culture in a digital era is something that at this critical point of our national life, it's something we cannot shy away from. And I think some of the things or some of the keynote address that we've listened to have captured this very important topic. Summarily, the DG of the Copyright Commission also said it. One of the panels, or the panel member, also mentioned it. It's something we cannot shy away from, the issue of piracy. But I think it's something that we have to collectively, every one of us, all of us involved in the value chain of publishing, need to collectively fight this disease. And of course, we will be the better for it.
I confess, however, that I still belong to the old school who prefer hard copies. I confess that for me, reading is about the smell of the book
I enjoy reading, but we cannot take for granted what is happening in the digital space, and we must evolve. Even at ICMC, we have embraced the digital era, and now we conduct a lot of our trainings online and provide digital reading content for our participants. This is indeed the way to go, especially taking into cognizance the fact that if we must revive the reading culture, as it's been argued, we must aim to capture the interest of the millennials and Gen Z, who are only inclined to resort to the use of the digital space. And so I endorse everything that has been said. My personal view is that we have to find ways to encourage our children, and whether it is by giving them tablets, whether it's also by giving them smartphones, but there is a caveat. Unsupervised access can create problems.
Coming to redefinition, it means the publishers have come to know that the Internet of Things had come with us. You might criticize the downside of the social media, but the truth of the matter is that it had come to live. It had come to stay with us. We in Voice of Nigeria, initially when I came, I told them, how far have you gone? They said, no. Okay, don't go there. We're radio. I said, no. And a little elementary study had shown that there are about 6 time zones on Earth. And in those 6 time zones, in about 5 of them, you rarely see anybody with transistor radio listening to radio or even shortwave. The least you see is the shortwave that are in their cassettes and in their vehicles. Therefore, we must go digital.
Other matters attended to were award presentations and recognition on some personalities and organizations that have been of immense help to the industry.
Thinking that we should have a very robust relationship with you. This year, participation is maybe the first, it will not be the last. Thank you very much.
To protect the industry. So on behalf of all stakeholders that are gathered here, it's my pleasure to present this to Colonel Hamid Ibrahim Ali, retired, for your contributions to the publishing and protection of copyright in Nigeria. Congratulations.
Of the member firms and everyone in Nigerian Publishers Association, we present this to you, Dr. Asien, for the wonderful job we are doing and for the ones you are going to do in future. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Well done.
Performances from secondary school students added color to the event.
It was Aristotle I taught. Today I am an adventurer on the treasure hunt. Tomorrow I'll walk down the Hall of Fame of Sports. Because if life is like a book, then books are lives. A man who reads lives 1,000 lives. An ambassador, pastor, doctor, or saint. A world filled with possibilities awaits on every page. Oh, how banal is a man who doesn't read.
The more you read, the more you know. Tell me of great men in history who never read to become great in life. One of the greatest men in the world was once told, read in the name of your Lord who created you. God is the author of knowledge. He who seeks God seeks knowledge. Readers are leaders. Read for the future. Read to get to the tallest building.
Immediately. But I catch a glimpse of my handset and had a change of mindset. I then realized I had to re-choose what I was going to lose. Was it the pleasure of my screen or the knowledge of my book that forever remains green? If only I can understand the great chance I stand. Oh, how the thought of digitality clouds my thinking of possibility. Keeping up a steady pace will surely be a difficult phase, but in order to win the race, my books I must surely embrace, and the distractions of digitality I must not allow to devour my opportunity. Thank you.
The Nigerian Publishers Association is a not-for-profit organization. It has been the collective voice of publishers in Nigeria for 57 years. The association provides a forum through which publishers deliberate on various issues affecting the publishing industry and the book trade at large.